Hey guys, we're going to work on some rounding today, and I want you to do it with me. So can you make sure you have scrap paper and a pencil, and you can hit the little pause button on the video until you have that ready to go. When you're ready, you can hit play again. All right, let's get started. We need to practice and review rounding to the nearest tens and to the nearest hundreds. Let's start simple with to the nearest tens. So on your scrap paper, I want you to write the number with me. I want you to write 53. Now what I want you to do is make sure we draw our baby number lines. So go ahead and draw a baby number line on your scrap paper. Doesn't have to be perfect. And what we have to decide is what two numbers 53 is between. We're rounding to the nearest 10, so we need a tens number like 50, 60, 70, 80. All right? So we take a look at 53 here, and we have to decide what two numbers 53 is going to be between. Do you know? Awesome. Hopefully you wrote it's between 50 and 60. Now on our baby number lines, we always remember that right in the middle of 50 and 60, or any number we have 55 or 65 or 75, okay? But because we're between 50 and 60, our middle number is 55. And we have to think, is 53 less than 55 or is it greater than 55? And on our number line, 53 is going to be over here. So that means 53 rounds down to 50. How are we feeling? Let's go ahead and try another one. Go ahead and find more space on your scrap paper. I'm going to keep my baby number line there, so we're ready to go. On your scrap paper, I want you to write the number 128. And we're going to round this number to the nearest 10. Now, here's the thing. It's a 3-digit number. I know that when I round a 3-digit number and I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I know my hundreds place isn't going to change. My 1 in the 100 is going to stay the same. I have to decide, is 28 going to round to 120 or 130? 120, 130. Go ahead and write that on your scrap paper. I want you to fill in the missing number for me. Did you write 125? Awesome. Now 128, we have to decide, is that less than 125 or is it greater than 125? On my number line, I know that 128 is greater than 125. It's going to be somewhere in here, which tells me I round my number up. What does 128 round to? You should have written it rounds to 130. Great job, guys. We're going to review one more rounding to the nearest tens. So go ahead and find more room on your scrap paper. And go ahead and make a new baby number line so you're ready to go. I'm going to erase my baby number line. All right, hopefully you have a new baby number line ready to go. And I want you to write this number. I want you to write 1,314. I know that's a really large number, but it doesn't change about how we round to the nearest tens. So what I need you to do is think about what numbers are not going to change. I know if I'm rounding to the nearest tens my number, here's my tens column and here's my ones column. These are the two numbers I'm going to focus on the most. And I know that nothing is going to change in my thousands or my hundreds place. So I know my number has to start with 1,300 something. Now I want you to go ahead and fill in the baby number line with the numbers you think should go there. Great job. All right, hopefully you wrote that 1,310 is one choice and 1,320 is your other choice. Make sure you filled in the middle number for me. Did you write 1,315? If you didn't, please make sure your baby number line looks like mine. Awesome job. All right, here we go. We have to decide, is 1,314 less than 1,315 or more than 1,315? I know 14 is one less than 15, so my number is going to be on this side, which means I have to round my number down. That's right. My number is going to round to 1,310. Awesome job, guys. All right, what I want to do is make sure that we can move on to rounding to the nearest hundreds and talk about that for a little bit. So find more space on your scrap paper or flip over if you need to. I'm going to erase my numbers. I'm going to keep my baby number line because we can use the same strategy. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. All right, are you ready? I want you to write this number down. I want you to write 287. Now, we're going to change it up and we are going to round this number to the nearest hundreds, which means my number has to be a hundreds number. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and so on. So we really have to think about what numbers we're looking at. When I look at 287, I'm looking at my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. I have to decide, is this 87 going to help me round to the nearest hundred? And it is. I have to decide, is my number between 200 or 300? So go ahead and write that on your baby number line. And just like when we round to the nearest tens, I have to find my middle number. And the number that's halfway between 200 and 300 is 250. So make sure your baby number line looks like mine right now. Good job. All right, now we have to decide, is 287 going to be less than 250 or is it going to be more than 250? And that's why I circled 87 because that's going to help me. On a number line, I know 87 is more than 50, which means 287 is going to be on this side of my number line. And that tells me I'm going to round up. 287 should round up to 300. Awesome work, guys. We're going to do 2, and I'm going to let you do a little more on your own. Go ahead and find more space on your number line or on your scrap paper. All right, are you ready? Here we go. I want you to write a new number. Make sure you have a new baby number line ready to go. And I want you to write 526. Now I want you to go ahead and fill out your baby number line and I'll wait for you. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Your baby number line? We have to decide what two hundreds number it's between. Hopefully, you wrote it's between 500 and 600. Now, halfway between 500 and 600 is my halfway mark, so we know it's 550. That's really going to help us when we look at 526 and we look at our tens and ones. I know 26 is less than 50, which tells me on my number line, 526 is going to be less than 550. It's going to fall on this side of my number line. That tells me I'm going to do what? I'm going to round down. Good job. Which tells me 526 rounds down to 500. Awesome job. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was awesome. Let's do one more before we go. Go ahead and you find more space and make a new baby number line. We're going to finish up with one more, and it's going to be fantastic. Here we go. Are you ready? It's going to be a little bit trickier. I want you to write 1,528. Here we go, 1,528. Now, we're not going to be scared of that thousands number. Just like when we did our tens, we know if we're rounding to the nearest hundreds, my thousands number is not going to change right now. So we're going to go ahead and write 1,000. And I have to decide on my hundreds number between what numbers. Go ahead and fill out your baby number line. All right, here we go. Hopefully you wrote it's between 1,500 and 1,600. Now we have to put our middle number, which hopefully you wrote is 1,550. That really helps me out. We have to decide, is 528 less than 1,550 or is it more? I know 528 is going to be less than 550 on a number line. So when I add the thousands number, it still applies. 1,528 is still less than 1,550. That tells me I'm going to round down to 1,500. All right, awesome job, guys. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to put your name at the top of your paper, and I'm going to ask you to turn it in to the bin on the counter, and then you can continue with your must-do and may-dos. Awesome work, guys. Hopefully this helped.